Thanks for tuning in to Know Wine in No Time. I'm your host, Dave, and for the last 12 months, the world has been dealing with the devastating effects of the coronavirus. Being a frontline worker myself, I try to protect myself and others from the virus by wearing a mask continuously and trying to social distance as best I can from my customers. But ultimately, we all can succumb to this virus. And earlier this week, I was diagnosed as positive for the coronavirus. Now, my journey has been relatively easy thus far. Just a few aches and pains, a little bit of fatigue, and a very low-grade fever. But one thing that's really kind of devastating for people that love wine and food is something that's very common with the coronavirus, and that's the loss of the sense of taste and smell. This happened to me the other day when my wife and I were having dinner, and she was remarking about how delicious the meal was, and I looked at her and I said, "I can't taste a thing." So after dinner, we did a little experiment. I put on a blindfold and I asked that she get different condiments from the refrigerator and put them on spoons and feed them to me. At the end of that experiment, I couldn't tell the difference between blackberry jelly and Dijon mustard. And of course, you know, nothing could be more different than those two. So I have completely lost my sense of smell and my sense of taste, which is really quite debilitating when talking to you folks about wine. So I thought it was a really good example to reinforce how important those senses are. We oftentimes talk about swirling the wine to liberate the aromas. And the reason why we do that is that aerates the wine and allows some of those aromas or bouquet to waft out of the glass. As I mentioned before, I can't smell anything. But those aromas give us an indication of how the wine was made, what type of wine it is, and more importantly, what to expect when we pass it across the palate. Now on to the palate. It's a very important area that's dominated by the messages that our tongue gives our brain. And we think about the different sectors on the tongue. The front side, we have the sector that detects sweetness. On the sides of the tongue, we detect acidity or sourness. And on the back side, we detect bitterness. So I often talk about the fruits that the wine personifies as it enters the mouth. That's because the front side of the palate is detecting those fruity or sweeter tastes. I often talk about how the wine is lifted by acidity mid-palate. That's because the sides of the tongue are detecting that. And then on the back side, we always talk about tannins and oak, and that's exactly where that's coming from on the palate itself. So all of those different indications can obviously be dulled by something like the coronavirus. So I get a little reflective when I get in this type of situation. And the first thing I want to do is thank everybody out there from the bottom of my heart. This is our 121st Know Wine in No Time video. I want to thank you for your loyalty and for tagging along with me as I tell the No Wine in No Time story. And I also ask everybody to please take care of yourself and each other. And if you do happen to get diagnosed with this virus, please follow your doctor's orders, quarantine, and take care of yourself as best you can. So as No Wine in No Time produces over the next few weeks, and as I hope to get my sense of taste and smell back, we may explore non-tasting subjects with wine. But I please ask you to come back next time, because no matter what, you'll know wine in no time.